for Jackson County Prosecuting Attorney Kelsey Guernsey and the soon-to-be retiring current Prosecuting Attorney Jarzynka. Welcome to the show.
Thank
Bart.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, nice to see you and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, a hard-fought race.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the community thought, I think we'd be well served with either candidate. So I think that speaks to the quality of people that were interested in taking over for Jerry.
Absolutely. My opponent has worked hard in this community. He's been a great defense attorney for the last 10 years. And he's a good person, and so lots of people, felt like they were two good choices, that's for sure.
And Jerry, you have known Kelsey a long time, and I think you actually were helpful in Kelsey's decision to seek your job.
We've had discussions in the past, actually going back even more than 4 years ago. And when Kelsey started, she expressed interest that someday she'd like to be the prosecuting attorney. So I kind of knew that. But, watching her, she's been with us now going on 11 years. I've seen her develop and grow into just a tremendous prosecutor. So I'm very thrilled for her. I'm happy for her. I'm happy for the community because I think she's going to do an excellent job as prosecuting attorney.
Well, I told you this before. You're too young to retire, but it's a well-deserved retirement, so congratulations.
Thank you, Bart. But I think in this role, it's really a calling. So you really get back more than what you put into it, from how you can help the community in different ways, your cases, but things you do, initiatives. So I'm really grateful for the people of Jackson have given me the opportunity to serve them. It really has been very gratifying to me in seeing how things have been changed or developed, or how people have gotten involved in different ways to make the community a better place to live.
How long has it been that you've been the prosecutor?
This is my 12th year as the elected. I've been with prosecution close to 30 years in that line of work in my career. So,
yeah, you served the community in ways before. Working for the city, you prosecutor.
Yes.
You were in private practice yourself.
I've had a varied experience, and I think for Kelsey, I think when I became the prosecutor, I kind of thought I knew everything about the job. I think my boss, Hank Zavislak, kind of made it look easy. Then when you get into the job, you realize there's a lot more to it than what you think. So there's a learning curve involved, but I think she's got the right talents and character traits and personality to really do extremely well. That's what I'm expecting. I've got high expectations for Kelsey.
Well, one thing I'm grateful for, Jerry, you were back in private practice, one of JTV's first advertisers for your law practice, which we remember that, and we appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Bart. Yeah.
So what kind of a transition? We should mention that Kelsey is not quite prosecutor-elect because while she's won the Republican primary, she will be on the ballot in November, and she has to win that, but there's no opponent.
Correct.
So you've got a pretty good chance.
I think it's a pretty good chance. I think it's a pretty good chance.
So what kind of transition is there? Because you've got the familiarity with the office. What's it going to be like for the department, for the community?
Well, I'm really grateful that we're going to get these 4 months because it can be a seamless transition between us. I can learn a little bit more about what he does in kind of his day-to-day, right? I've been a trial attorney. That's been my focus. So I get to shift that focus and I get to learn a little bit more about what he's been doing, because he also makes it look easy. But I know he works really hard, and so I can start that shift of a process, and we're going to get to kind of work together to help replace me as a trial attorney, because I've been doing that gig. So we're going to have to find, somebody that can help lead and fill a role in our office in that way too.
Well, Jerry has what I'd call a trademark in that he'd always wear a red tie, and this is about as far away from norm. Typically it's a solid red tie. You've got the stars and stripes on today's tie. Do you have anything that?
Red and white has been my signature. Now as a trial attorney, it's funny. I'll share a little state secret with you. I always wear a blue suit on closing argument day, unless I'm trying a homicide, and then you wear red. But closing argument day, superstitions, I always wear a blue suit. But red and white were the campaign colors, so those have kind of been my colors. I've gotten a lot more red and white lately than I ever had in my wardrobe before.
Well, I was watching Presumed Innocent on, I think it's on Apple or Netflix, and it's about a prosecutor in Cook County who gets charged with a crime. And in the course of the trial, we learn as viewers that in that prosecutor's office, anytime someone wins a case, they cut off their tie and they pin it on the wall. Is there anything like that here?
No.
No.
There isn't, Bart. No, we value our ties.
Right. We do have Jerry started early on in my time here at the office a trial trophy. And so we have kind of a moving trophy around. And so when you, for the big cases, when you have a successful trial, and you had to find 2 trophies because we have trial teams, and he started that as well. So there's that extra attaboy that you get the cool trial trophy that shares its way around the office.
All right, well, less destructive than cutting off a necktie.
Indeed.
That could be a crime.
One of the things that I know has been important to Jerry has been protecting victims' rights. And we just so happened this week to have the annual Victims' Rights Memorial Ceremony on Saturday.
Yes, we are excited by that. It's the outdoor ceremony. It's the violent crime victims memorial that Larry Mentick started when his son was murdered. And so we do this every year. The weather's supposed to be nice on Saturday, but it's a great way to honor loved ones who we've lost because of violent crime, and a great way for the families to know that we still remember those victims, and we are still seeking justice for those cases that are still outstanding, and they're not forgotten. That's really important. We've had families of victims, murder victims, come as far as Saginaw just for the morning, just to go for that. So it's an important event. Christy Conley is the current, our newer victim rights coordinator, took over for Sue Vogt. So she's organized the event, so it's going to be really good.
Yeah, she was here the other day, and she's very excited that the weather forecast is going to be sunny and pleasant.
Yes.
Because it was a deluge last year.
It was, yes. Well, we've had some times where it's been rainy, but thankfully not very many. But it's good. It's good to remember the victims, not only for violent crimes, but overall in general. And I think that's something that I'm fond of the office, that we do have a victims' rights unit that takes care of victims, not just of the very serious crimes, but crimes you may not think as serious because it matters to you. And the criminal justice system can be so foreign to you. It's helpful to have someone to help you kind of navigate through it, which makes it, not that it's any easier, but it makes it less difficult, I think.
Yeah, and you're right. I didn't realize this, but if you're a victim of any crime, if someone smashes your mailbox, you're a victim of a crime.
Yeah.
And when that does happen to you, you feel, you feel different all of a sudden. It's amazing how you feel when that happens.
I'll say with the rededication on Saturday, one of my favorite things as a trial attorney is I get to hug all the victims' families of the cases that I've worked on. That one, the outdoor one in particular, is really well attended, and you get to know these people really well, throughout the time that you worked on their family member's case, their loved one's case, and so it's always good to give a big hug to the families that show up.
Yeah, well, let's just hope there's a day in the future that we won't have crime victims to honor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, you got a lot of yard signs to pick up?
I am so grateful for my team. And the sign guy has been my dad, and so he's been out for the last 48 hours. They actually were excited enough on election night that they being my mom and dad, started to go out and collect signs that night. And about 2:30 in the morning, they went, this was a silly idea. We're going home and going to bed now. That adrenaline finally settled down. But he has spent the last, 24 hours plus picking up all the big signs and some of the little signs. And he said as much as he complained about the rain on Tuesday, he's grateful for it now because those stakes come up really easy after all that rain. So it's been good.
I bet. Well, great to see you. Thanks for coming in and congratulations.
Thank you.
And Jerry, I know we'll be talking to you before you're all wrapped up. Appreciate you coming in today too.
Thanks for having us.
Kelsey Guernsey and Jerry Jarzynka.